Ibiso, Cookies Week, the Debiso, Ibiso, Cookies Week, Brother, Debiso. So yeah, this is what we doing right now, man. Um, Again, like I said, this sound just a little bit lower. So right now I'm listening to Colonial Mentality by Fela Kuti. Fela Kuti is Afrobeat musician pioneer. I look at him. I initially, when I thought of his music, I thought of if Bob Marley and Che Guevara were a musician. And then like I did like a quick Google, and that's kind of exactly how I saw other people describe him. His music is revolutionary. It's something I never knew really even existed when it came to I'll say African music as a whole, just because overall my experience with African music, that music from the continent of Africa is limited. Um, so hearing the jazz fusion mixed with what I've kind of learned to understand as traditional African drums and just it's just energy. It's just a different type of energy discovering his music. And colonial mentality is I've known about this song surprisingly for like 20 years at this point. There's a song on Missy Elliott's album. It's I think Missy So let me double check. Missy Elliott albums. One with the blue cover. Yeah, so addictive. I was right, so addictive. And it's what you do, and it's just Timbo at his prime, just with beats. And no, I've listened to the album. You know, the commercial songs are great and successful, but that beat is just raw. Dun, 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 dun. And I've always loved that song. I used to just listen to that beat on repeat when I when I had a Discman. I would just play that on repeat all day, like for my train ride from Brooklyn to Manhattan. Just vibe off the music, vibe off of the intensity of just the energy of the song. Like I said, it was dope for me. It was really dope. This kind of experience and vibe out to that song. And I don't remember how, but sometime either last year or like 2 years ago, either I heard a sample or I heard maybe I did like a Shazam to a song, and I listened to one of Fela Kuti songs. And ever since then, it's just been this immersive experience. You know, he offers music when music was at its prime. I mean, that's like the '70s, late '60s, '70s, where the what music would become today, like the genre as a whole, the concept of music was just elevated, right? The arts movement, um, the free love movement, free love, is expressing the ability to create. Love is, I view love as an ability to create and share yourself with people. So there's more willingness, and there's more acceptance in pushing yourself against the norms, which allows you to push cultures and ideas against the norm and push them to another level, essentially. So yeah, just fell up on this music. I heard Colonial Mentality for the first time, and I'm like, yo, I know this beat. I know this beat. And I jumped into that Missy song, and I just connected it, and I was like, yo, like Timbo. Hip hop is great, and for the production of hip hop is great when they sample and they bring new life to songs. But I'm a person who prefers to um, get to the root, right? I like what what came first, right? I care about what came first. So for me, the original majority of times is gonna be better than what I'm experiencing, and or rather, the original is always gonna be better than the remix or the sample version. So Fela Kuti offers these songs that are 10 minutes long. You get like a 6 minute, not excuse me, you get like a 4 minute instrumental intro, and it just takes you on this beautiful journey and experience. Again, like I said, saxophone, drums, harmonicas, trumpets, just yeah, that's how it makes me feel. Like I didn't have a word. It was just that explosion of energy. Like that's how dope it is. That's how it feels. So yeah, you get like 4 minutes of instrumentals. It leads you, builds you up, and then out of nowhere, it just pops in lyrics, and you'll get two 2 minutes of lyrics. But the impact, the raw energy, the significance, it hit home. It hit home because everything he's singing, uh, chanting, reciting, acknowledging about then is happening now, some type of capacity. It's just elevated and it's become relative to what our life experience is. So yeah, you get, see, 4 minutes, you get 2 minutes, then another 4 minutes of just instrumentals, outro, and it's a journey. And there may be like 3 or 4 songs that I listen to on repeat. A Zombie, there's Water No Get Enemy. Um, Let me see what else. Sorrow, Tears, and Blood. Yeah, Sorrow, Tears, and Blood was the original, the first song that I was introduced to him, that introduced me to him somehow. And then Colonial Mentality. Those are like the 4 songs that I kind of always cycled through. And the formula's always the same. It always works. It's just this music, the rhythm to get you ready for the experience, get you ready and help you transition into the impact of the lyrics he's gonna come up with next. And then he hits you with language, right? For Colonial Mentality. If you say you be colonial man, you don't be slave before. Them don't release you now, but you never release yourself, right? You wasn't I wasn't a slave. I'm free now, but you didn't realize that slavery was part of the mental conditioning too. It's beyond the physical. He goes into, they think we're black no good, no foreign things. Them they like no be so, he be so, and I think about, his for his reference, he's talking about colonialism within itself and the desire to consume what the colonialists and the capitalists are bringing to your country because they're new. He even talks about air conditioner, like fuck the heat. I got a AC. Came up. These little things that help us transition through different layers of society. Right, like back in the day, having an AC. Maybe in his time, in the '70s, '80s, having an AC. That's just a status, but now everyone has it. It's nothing. And we consume so much, or we've gotten to a point where we consume so much that there's nothing. Right, realistically, outside of wealth and money, we're all equal, right? Everyone can afford an AC. Everyone can afford a $1,000 phone. All of the trivial things, that we can regularly consume. Anyone can really get it, right? There's payment plans, the option for everyone. But when things are limited, or when you're part of those initial, steps in consuming, uh, at some point humans are gonna be able to fly to Mars, right, or fly to the moon. You got Richard Branson and Virgin Galactic, I believe, Spice, call it Space. Thinking about the stock name, and I always call it Spice because it's SPSCE, but it's space. You have Richard Branson of Virgin Galactic, trying to make commercial flights to the moon, or to The space just more regular, not the moon. Going far fetched, but the space just a common thing. And once he kind of achieves that, then yeah, it's gonna be common. You know, the first few people who do that, you know, those would be the multi-millionaires, billionaires who can afford the experience. But eventually, the more money that they pool into being able to enjoy their own experiences and their status going into space, the more practical it becomes, and the more it transitions into the middle class, and eventually, the full middle class, and eventually where everyone and anyone can travel into space or travel to the moon. It's just what we do because we need workers, right? But that's when everything kind of becomes common. Once that's when everything becomes common, right? Everything becomes equally consumable when I can profit off you from it, right? Cell phones, right? Cell phones, right? Yeah. Because I need workers. I need workers on the moon. So I need to create a system that allows me to transport large groups of people who would be workers for me and for what I need. Fuck. Shit. But yeah. Damn. But yeah. Why does it say that? I don't know. Okay, we back. So, and I'm gonna start recording also just in case because I didn't think about that. Um, but yeah. So AC back in the day was a lot. AC nowadays is nothing. But we just kind of transitioned that. So I connected that in modern times, thinking about like clothing brands, right? Of the '90s, we had Fubu, we had Call Kanai, Cross Colors. I believe Third Rail was a black brand, but within that same time frame, more black people started getting money. So what did they do? Right, they started buying Polo and Tommy. I mean, in high school, junior high school, that's when everyone started getting money. That's when Jordan started coming out, right? The money, money and the resources, and or I guess capital overall, was pooled, was was more distributed throughout the black experience in the '90s. So you had capital, you had money to, you know, buy the things that were exclusive to whites in the '80s, and that only the drug dealers or the entertainers could afford initially, and not really even into hip hop artists because there wasn't really any money back then. But you had those brands that we transitioned. We had Sean John, there was Rockaware, Mecca, Fat Farm, and my opinion, once black people really started getting money, they just stopped fucking with the black brands, right? And those are the same concept of the foreign things. We have something established, or we're working on establishing something, and instead of curating and creating and elongated, like, no, I don't say that. Instead of curating the experience, like Polo, Ralph, not even Polo, Ralph Lauren, right? That's history. That's curated history. You don't have that for any black brands. Um, so it all, the problem persists, and it's all relative. So going through the song, and there's another point where he talks about. I mean, maybe it's not even a point. I guess it's just a full experience of the song and understanding um, what the colonialists are here for, right? And maybe that kind of ties into the don't, use me for your passions, not for your ego. So somehow, I realize a lot of things end up becoming part of my. Um, I realize a lot of things subliminally. So like I have this song, I'll play this song for a week, and then I'll go to something else, and then I'll put the song back on, and I'll go to something else. And the subliminal influence is there. Thinking about colonialism, thinking about religion, right? The passion of colonialism would be in spreading the gospel with good intent, right? With holy, pure intent to enlighten individuals and bring them as part of the experience of what Christianity would be. And I'll use Christianity just because that's my experience and that's what I know best. But we didn't get that. You get the ego aspect, right? Where you use, well, there's a quote from Devil on a Cross by Ngugi. Let's see. By Ngugi wa Thiong'o, and it goes along the lines of the white man came to Africa with a gun in the left hand and a Bible in the right hand, and there's this like the Bible was the the Bible was the passion part. The gun is the ego. Just do what I say, or else, right? Um, so I'll go over the post that I did on IG. So it's use me for your passions, not for your ego. And I quote Bill Withers. I want to spread the news that if it feels this good getting used, you just keep on using me until you use me up. And that's use me from Bill Withers. Your ego promotes yourself. Your passions, though, they promote growth and love founded on the needs of your community or communities. It feels good to be used for the right cause. It feels good to support people in your community and people you share bonds with. So use each other under the right terms. Use each other to support love. Use each other to support love, pain, joy, creativity, and the journey. Your ego is yours to nourish and grow. I can help you with that. No one really can. But allow me and others to support your desire to bring growth, education, and experiences to light. That's the only thing I want to be used for because that's what feels good. That's what feels good. Use me up until I'm too old to be used. Right? We all get used. We all get used. We all use each other. We have to. That's part of the system. That's part of the bartering. We use people in different aspects. There's energy usage, right? Friends, people you love and care about, who you just want to be around. We use each. I use people to work. To work for them. Excuse me. I use people to get me money, right? We all, right? You go to work for money. You're using your boss for money. Your boss is using you for labor. There's a base agreement that we have. I talked about social contracts before, but there's a base agreement that we have in terms of using each other. And I use work as an example because it's something that we all have to do and kind of be a part of. And I always use the quote, if not even quote, this example, if you're gonna pay me X amount of dollars to do X amount of work, X days a week for X amount of time, I agree. I sign a contract. That's our social contract. That's what we do. That's what we abide by. Well, you apply that to all experiences, right? And part of it is being honest with each other, right? Being honest about what do you want to be utilized for? What do you want people to come to you for? What do you want to provide to people? How do you want to support people? And we don't know sometimes. We don't know. We don't know. People don't know how to use us correctly because we don't tell them how to use us in one aspect, or we don't know what we want to be used for. We haven't done the work to kind of figure out who we are and what we want in life. So we just live the experience, and people offend us, people harm us, sometimes without intent, but without us understanding and knowing, like, hey, this isn't what I want, or even understanding, like, going through the experience and being like, this is I mean, I'm going through the experience, and we learn from experience. Sometimes we learn from experiences. So it always I talk on my end is I talk about just getting to the point of being aware, getting to the point of being able to just know what I want and know what I need. Know what makes me happy, know what makes me content, know what allows me to kind of push forward in life. I need to do that, but there's still the experience and the journey of seeing what works and what doesn't work and learning from that too. And I guess I've learned over the years that I just want to. Well, I've evolved into. I've aged. I mean, yeah. Well, I guess innately, right? I feel like part of who we become as adults is sometimes rooted in who we were as children, and you just you got to get back to yourself, right? When we were kids, you were more of yourself. The teens and the 20s and the 30s, that's when life weighs down on you and beats you down a little bit. But the sooner you find out, or rather, the sooner you kind of reconnect with that younger version of yourself who was more pure and more honest and more upright about the things you wanted, the easier it is to this transition. I lost the initial thought. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm thinking about just understanding yourself and knowing what you want and need, what you expect. Um, I don't know, but I know, like I know what I want. I think that's what it is, right? That's finding some type of peace, being able to know what you want and how you want to interact with people makes it easier for you to set boundaries, right? Um, limit moments that don't bring value to what you're looking for in life anymore. As you get older, your values change, and you grow into a different type of person. You grow into who you want to be defined as, and the more you're able to own that experience and own uh, yeah, I guess own the experience, the easier it is just to kind of vocalize and put yourself in situations that bring value to you, that and also allows you to bring values to others. So when I say I don't want to be used for your ego, I don't. I'm not here to feed your need to feed yourself. Um, and this stems from these conversations with people in the past telling me that they compete with me. For what? I ain't got shit. Like I got, I got good stuff. I have a good life, but like I ain't there yet. I ain't there yet to warrant that, I guess. Um, and I get it when I get it on one level. These are people who like I have curated friendships, right? Like going back to knowing what I want and knowing how to limit my time and space. I have a handful of select people who I can have the full layers of conversation that I want to have on a regular basis with people. Um, and I think it's the same thing for them also. There's a still sharp and still aspect where they respect my intelligence and my ability to think big picture and outside of the box, and I respect it. I respect their ability also. But I think it's corny. I think that's what it is. Because for me, you're using me to feed your ego instead of using me to collaborate with, to boost your passions. And that's more of what I want. That's more of what I want to be for people. I don't, and I know that you know it's a few select people who have told me that versus the how many other people how many people I know who I don't influence or who don't see me in that light, which I'm fine with. Um, but I think it's corny. I'd rather be used to help you develop whatever it is you want to develop, to help you unravel the ideas and the layers that you have. Cause that's what we grew up on. That's what our experience was um, as friends. That's what the dialogue was for me at least. Not to win an argument. I've never really cared about winning. Well, when I was younger, like because I always felt I was right. Yeah, I'm right. I know best. But nah, it's not about that anymore. I just I wanna talk and I wanna expand until I ain't got nothing. I have great moments with friends who we'll let's have an epiphany about something we talked about years ago. What's up, bro? What do you need? Dude's yelling about nothing. Excuse me. Yeah, yeah, just have an epiphany about something. And it's like, yo, I thought about what you said last like 5 years ago. And that's dope. Like, I like that. I appreciate those moments. Um, Cause that's passion to me, right? That means you've had some life experiences and some thoughts, and you're like, you grew as a person, right? You had a realization, and you didn't stop on it and be like, fuck it, like fuck that nigga, like I say, fuck that nigga Cliff. He ain't smarter than me. He don't know more than me. It shows growth, and I appreciate those moments. But overall, for any of us, what do you want to be used as? Like, what do you want? What do you want to give people? What do you want to? What are you okay being used as? Right? I'm thinking about thinking about all our roles, all our roles in society, and all the various things we do, and the ways we exist, and how we exist with people, and all the relationships we have with different people. How do you want to be part of that? Like I asked a question on IG. What do you want to be used for as? Um, my innate ability to be a good person usually works against me. Use me as a shoulder to cry on. Use me as a teacher for healing. I want to cook meals that people. I want to cook meals that people share special moments around. Use me to cook dope meals. Mentor. Like like 5 people, but most of us. I don't know. I know that I live in like a utopian perspective where I think everyone wants purpose and everyone has purpose. Um, but I don't believe that. I believe everyone has potential to have purpose. I think, and that's what really matters. I think we all have the potential. It's but the potential, it rests on our social dynamics. It rests on how we interact with our community, right? If I can't, I mean, this kind of goes into like depression and all the other different layers and all that. But if I if I can't, I'm people are more my belief people are more likely to feel less about themselves as a comparison to other people, right? Don't compare yourself into unhappiness. You're not. You're like you're good. You're good. Most of us, like I said, most of us are good. Most of us got it good. Um, but there's also the the real and the relative layers of oppression that we all live under. Um, like how many layers of oppression do you think you live under? I was going through my head, like for myself, black, and I mean these are the social and systemic oppressions, not for me, not ones that I um, self-impose, because I mean the layers vary, right? So there's like the systemic. There's the ones that I can't control. They're the ones that I'm just kind of born into. There's the oppression that I put on myself directly, and there's the oppression that people put on me directly. Um, Three. I mean, I guess I feel like three is always the magic number for everything. Um, but the systemic oppression. The systemic oppression is it's the most challenging one. So I'll do that last. There's oppression that I put on myself. That's my doubts. That's my self-deprecation. That's my the narcissism and pride that I kind of have just to help me kind of balance out. Um, that's my guilt. All the negative things that can kind of traditionally limit my perspective or my experience or cause me to stop or not keep pushing forward. Those are self-imposed to an extent, and they're things that I need to work through on my own to get through. And I see it as ground up. Once I start with myself, because I understand, going back to passion and ego and understanding what I want and who I want to be. Now I know how to. Now I know. Now that I know myself, I can work on the next tier of oppression. The next tier of oppression is going to be other people. That's the closest thing to me. That's other for me. Um, like what the way people talk to you, right? The way people interact with you, the the way people treat you, people lying to you, people manipulating you, um, people not being able to apologize. It's everything, right? Everything that affects you on an individual one-on-one basis. Um, that's a lot. Like that's a lot to deal with because there's always more people compared to you, right? It's 30 people telling you to do 30 different things, and you just have yourself to kind of decide and own your decision. But like I said, once you establish the ground work of yourself, once you're able to kind of do that, then it becomes easier to have a conversations with people or remove yourself from relationships from people once they don't kind of honor your value. I think that's the point of communication and interactions, right? You want to be able to have dialogue in any aspect. I think for me at least, like I said, I'm like I'd love to have a conversation with someone who's a racist. Because I just want I want to understand what allows them to get to those perspectives, especially the perspectives that aren't experience based, right? And I mean, maybe yeah, different types of races, right? Ones where it's experience based, like I just had all these bad experiences with these groups of people, so this is just how I feel about them. I get it. There's the passed down version, which is just generational. Like I want to understand. I want to understand how you get to that point, and I want to keep having the dialogue and the questions till it's like, all right, I understand. You believe what you believe. I believe what I believe, and that's it. It's cool. I won't say hi to you when I see you Like the dialogue allows you to, the true dialogue allows you to be open, right? About who you are, about what you want, what values you have, and from there, just being able to say adios, or all right, well, I can work with this. I can work with that on this level. And we're shifting, and I've said this a lot of times. We're shifting away from communicating with each other. So that's just gonna lead to the inevitable demise of, I mean, society as a whole. Uh, I mean, yeah, like it's working backwards. So the build up is building up the individual, building up society, and then building up the systems that hold society in place. That's the economical system, social systems, and judicial systems. So since the top isn't doing what it needs to do, society as a whole is crumbling, and the individual will kind of crumble. I feel like we kind of see that a lot. I mean, we're kind of already there, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're there, but that's the build up. It's everyone. Like again, it's three people, so it's three parts. It's a triangle. At any point in time, anything could be on top. Right? It's easy to just pivot and blame whoever, because the points can be at any point in time, any place. Right? It could be me and the government against it can be me and the systems against the people in society. It could be me and the people and the systems against government, society. So it's there, like it's all there. It's all like it's all there. It's all gonna be there. You just kind of have to figure out what you're willing to allow. I feel like that's what it boils down to in most cases. Figuring out what you're willing to allow, what you're willing to um, be part of. Like you're not like we're all of us aren't gonna heal everything by the time we pass away. I the goal is to just keep working and doing what you can to heal as much as you can in order to support the other people, other generations. We need to be relying on each other. Yeah, we need to be relying on each other. We need to support each other, but shit, we're just not on that energy, right? The elderly, the working generation, and the youth, just pure, we're just purely disconnected from each other. Might lead to a collapse, right? Ah, man. It's it's hard work. I say that a lot. It's hard work. I know it's hard work. It's challenging work. Sometimes you just don't want to do it, right? Like it's easy to be excited about the prospects. It's easy to be excited about the vision, but in a lot of cases, when it comes time to do the work, it's like, well, what? People backpedal, take a step back, or you're unsure about it. We don't take risks on ourselves. We don't Like this is, I mean, this is new for me, right? And I know it's just me, right? And this, doing a live video. I didn't think I was gonna do this last year. I was like, nah, they never doing video for what? My voice is fine. I gotta move forward. Gotta move forward. I put it on myself. I was just like, nah, I don't do it. Nah, you don't want to do it. Nah, for what? For what? What am I hiding? Why not? Why not? I want to connect with people. This is how people connect. Put myself out there. Connect with me. I want to connect, right? I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do, right? I wanna see people in the chat. I wanna talk. I wanna have dialogue. Like I said, right? I wanna create the space and opportunity for different values and ideas to kind of come to me, so we can just have dialogue and understand. We ain't gotta agree, but I want to understand. Helps me understand. Helps me learn how to deal with people in the reality outside of the internet. That's what we should be using it for. That's what we should be. And people don't want to work. We don't want to work on ourselves, or we don't want to work on our society, and we don't want to work to get the people at the top to do what we want them to do. I don't get it. See, I mean, it's easy, right? It's easy to do nothing. Easy to chill. It's easy to just kind of get by. World is scary. Life is scary. Change is scary. All of that is scary. I get it. But if it isn't what you want, if that if that's what you want, if that's how you want to live, you do that. You embrace that, and you live that to your full potential. But for the other people, on the first point, you don't get the fuck out the way, right? Like if you're not part of the system to push it forward, if you have no interest in diving into your passion, if you just wanna exist and just go through the motions, you do that, but you do it with the right accountability. You do it with honor, right? You do it. That's your choice. You make that. I always use work because work. I think work is the perfect social. What do you call it? Social petri dish of every and any situation. And I've thought about in the past people coming into work sick, coughing, sneezing, right? And what do? What do? They cool out. They think they on they think they on a lax day. They come to work on a lax day. I'm gonna come to work, I'm gonna get paid, but I ain't gonna do shit. Or I'm gonna use my sickness as an excuse not to do what I want. And I get it. On one aspect, we all need the money. But you still have a responsibility. Right? Don't be present, and again, use me correctly. Right? Right? Like there's a difference between coming in sick and telling your coworkers like, I ain't feeling too good. I'll be a little light today, but next week I got you. Or my next shift, as soon as I feel better, I got you. That's fair. But you can't just come in like, head on the table. I ain't doing shit today. I'm good. While everyone else picking up. It's unfair. There was no agreement to that, right? It's the social contract, the social agreement is that when you come to work, you're gonna work. We both have the same job. To an extent, I'm thinking about retail because that's my main experience. But I got a responsibility. So do you. Let me know. Communicate, right? Like I always say, communicate. thinking about this past few months, man, and I think last night kind of really sealed sealed the deal. And the thought is that black people have thought that they've made it. I think last year, protest, Black Lives Matter, all the symbolism told black people that they made it. The world knew, the world was watching, and that they knew that Black Lives Matter. I've been sitting on the thought, I've been having these experiences just with black owned businesses and trying to sell my Black Excellence calendar and journal. And there's just this level of, excuse me, there's just this level of, I'll use the word arrogance. Like, nah, like, wanting to push the black experience forward through knowledge and information. I think that's fair. I think that's important. Um, it's a unique, and on one end, it's my pride, it's my ego, but it's a dope product. There's nothing else like it, right? It's not just the calendar. So much more. It's the experience. It's a diversity, men and women, um, music, space, science, art, literature. Like there's so much. Um, Diversity. And I know on my end it's part of the marketing. I don't know. I feel like again, if people don't get the product, and I don't know how to remedy that. But there's these weird experiences and having conversations and just being like, something feels off. And yeah, the trial last night kind of sealed the deal. With rightfully so, Chauvin was found guilty, rightfully so. And when I think I was on Twitter, saw the verdict, I got chills. Like I just felt the chills. I feel them now. Just chills. Just thinking about symbolism, right? It's been a while. Yo, these niggas been walking. They've been walking. They've been walking free. So maybe that's on one level that was a surge of energy that I felt. That's what it was. Yeah. Symbolism finally happened and I felt a shift. But now I'm thinking about big picture, everything globally, everything globally, climate change, COVID, vaccines, all of that. Thinking about it, but also thinking about the ever feeling, ever present feeling of pacification of blackness and a black experience. If he was found not guilty on all three charges, right? What would have happened, man? Niggas been out, be back on the streets. I'd be back on the streets, maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I lost a lot of faith and hope in the experience after last year, after seeing protests being co-opted by the black people and just seeing well, seeing protests get co-opted by black people, and the movement be co-opted by white people on the ground, and the symbolism being co-opted by other black people just for profit. Um, like, where's the yo? Who are the black leaders that work together? Everyone's doing their own thing, man. Everyone's doing their own thing. We're the leaders. Everyone want to be a leader. No one want to be part-time leader. No one wants to team up. Someone want to be king of the niggas. Everybody, someone always want to be king of the niggas. King of New York, king of hip hop, king of this, king of that, king of nothing. Niggas ain't got nothing. They think, but not really. So yeah, I've I've heard I've seen clips and I've seen the reactions in streets and cities and all that. They got one. You got one, and they're gonna use it against you. They're gonna use it against you. Like cops, what shot a 16-year-old, 17-year-old black girl. People upset again, right? She, from the video I seen, she had a knife. She was about to stab someone, but the dialogue is still around police, unnecessary police killing. And why did they tase her? Why didn't they beat her with a stick? I mean, I don't know, right? We're at a point. No matter what you say or do, right? Someone's gonna find offense in some capacity. It's terrible, right? Again, just watching black bodies just die constantly. It's like not even TMZ. It's like 7 o'clock, daily 7 o'clock. Nigga getting shot. Like it's a Wheel of Fortune episode. Like I know Monday through Friday, 7 o'clock. I'm gonna put on the TV. I'm gonna go on social media, and I'm gonna see a nigga die. I'm gonna see a nigga get shot. That's what it feel like. That's what it feel like. What have you won? What's been gained? What's been gained since? For the black experience. That's what that's like that. That's what this is about. The passion, right? For me, the passion is for the black experience, or it could just be for me and what I want to do and what I need to do for myself, for my family, and that's it. But I don't. But I see and I understand that in order to do it for myself, I got to do it for the experience also. You got to elevate. Excuse me. You got to elevate the entire experience simultaneously, right? You can eat, you can make bread, but you got to find a way to give back to elevate the experience, so it won't matter in a few years. So it's relative to, right? A lot of people, hip hop put money in a lot of people's pockets. Hip hop elevated the black experience. Hip hop has redefined the black experience because it, in one capacity, it's become intertwined with it. When you think about black, you just think about hip hop. That's unfortunate. Um, that's just what it's become. But it's also helped elevate the black experience. It's made a lot of, like I said, it's put a lot of money into the pocket of black people, more than the white people probably, right? Synonymous hip hop with blackness. Black people would spend 1.2 trillion a year to go where, right? To go where? Where does it all go? What? Where is it funneled back into the community? I'll just say it, no, no. Where is it funneled back into the experience? That's what matters. You have Black Lives Matter leader co-founders buying multiple $1 million homes. That's real shit, right? You got what's her name, Tamika Mallory, doing a deal with Cadillac. It's real shit, right? That's the ego. I mean, granted, I don't know their reasonings. I don't know why they did what they did. I don't know the long term goal. I don't have all the facts. Visually, it feels like it's for the ego. Visually, it feels like what everyone has always done in the black experience, right? You're there. You're on the front lines. Yeah, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. That's what niggas say, right? I got you. I got you. I got you, right? Niggas don't get you. Niggas don't get you, man. They gonna get you. They ain't gonna get you. They gonna get you like they gonna, you know. You got. You a mark. They gonna use you for their ego. Till they get they paper up, they bread up. I get it. Like I say, I get it, man. But what happens? The people, as always, exhausted. You get burnt out. Like I'm not a historian in any capacity, but I understand social behavior. Being black is exhausting. Being let down is exhausting, right? You, it's this relative dissipation of energy, right? So as we expand, and I mean this also ties into why I think black people, I think they've won as a whole. Most people socially, I think they've won as a whole, because socially we have the ability to go into our pockets of groups and have our set group of friends, right? We have our set group of friends, and like we're good. Like this is it. It's my people. I'm good. I made it. But you don't realize that that's what everyone else has kind of done for the most part, right? We've all deviated from the like on one aspect the stereotypical black experience that we grew up on, or that that's been portrayed, right? A lot of us grew up on these family shows that showed and taught and allowed us to experience black values, diversity. Like watching Erica and I were watching Magic School Bus yesterday, and I was just thinking about this diversity. Thinking about Captain Planet, Power Rangers, all these different shows. Like there were everyone was so many mixed groups, which was dope. Saved by the Bell, and even though it's predominantly white, I didn't always really process it as that. I just thought like, all right, cool, they have a group of friends. I mean, maybe that's something I need to think about more. So I'll take that back. But just pockets of blackness now. And because our individual experiences feel more free, because we've finally been able to find people like us, We think the experience is freer, but it's just relative. Personally, I think as a collective, as a whole, right, then we're worse off. I think we've and my parents. I've only been here in America for 35, 6 years. My family's from Haiti. I know I'm not part of the traditional African American experience, but I'm born here, so I inherit the black experience by default. It's exhausting seeing black bodies get shot. Is exhausting. And I'm thinking about Medgar. I'm thinking about Martin Luther King Jr. Thinking about Malcolm. It's exhausting. It conditioned us. That shit conditions you to not get out of line. When's the last? The only black people who get shot nowadays are hip hop niggas. They shot Jam Master Jay. They shot Biggie. They shot Pac. Right? XXX Tentacion. Who's the last black leader to get shot? And again, I'm not a historian. It could be someone recent. I don't know. I don't. I can't think of anything right now. Maybe someone will come to mind. That's the height of the experience. It's limiting. That's symbolism, right? It's symbolism to have someone like Martin Luther King Jr. or Malcolm X get shot. Not even let's say Malcolm X Jr. It's symbolism to have Malcolm X get shot by another black man or black men. Being who he was and what he represented in terms of being an intellect, in terms of being someone who showed growth, who showed, I'll use fairness, who showed tenacity, who showed individuality. Right? There's no other Malcolm X. There is no other Malcolm X. There never will be. He was the last real nigga. Malcolm X was the last real nigga. Right? You can name 100 rappers. They all the same. Right? Who your top five? Who your top five? Who your top five? Right? Top five, top five. Sometimes they switch around. Who you going with? Martin or Malcolm? That's it. Martin or Malcolm. Right? Professor X Magneto. You trying to fight your way through it? You trying to protest and march your way and make noise through it? And they both got murdered. The duality, right? They shot Martin, they shot Malcolm. They what other side is there? What's the gray? Now all we get is rappers getting shot. That's the symbolism. That's the height. That's the greatest. These are the most important people your generation have provided. That's like, is that it? Who's next? Outside of hip hop, who have we? Who do do we have? And I mean, who do black people as a collective have? And I understand that there's no leader. It's not happening again. There never will be. But who are the people that you go to outside Obama? Obama's just symbolism, right? He's a black president, so you gotta fuck with him by default, right? Right? Who do we have? I can't think of anyone. Again, I'm not a historian. I'm not trendy. The people I think of aren't really or divisive. I guess I'd say the people I'm thinking of are divisive. I'm thinking of like Dr. Umar Johnson, um, people like Tariq Nasheed. Um, I was just thinking of who else was I just thinking of? I guess Black Lives Matter, Tamika Mallory. Um, I can, I don't know. There's a lot of reparations talk, right? That's out the window. I remember I saw a tweet earlier today, and I think it was Black Lives Matter tweeting at Joe Biden saying it's 100. It's almost his first 100 days as president, and he needs to um, cancel a certain law. Let's see if I can pull this up. Come on, come on. I can't find it. But yeah, it's the same. It's the same pump fake. It's the same. You got. Like I said earlier, you got. As always, Joe Biden got on. He talked to you slick. You gave you a black woman as VP. You thought you won, and you're doing exactly what everyone else before him has done. You ain't gonna do nothing about it. You got the verdict. It might appeal. I've been on Reddit and I've been seeing people saying how he might get an appeal. He might win. What's her name? Maxine Waters telling people inciting violence directly, indirectly, however you want to kind of view her language. If I'm a juror watching that, I don't want violence in my city. I should lock him up. Yeah, talking too much, but can't win, right? If you don't say, I don't know, I don't know. I was gonna say if you don't say anything, people say you don't care. If you do, they say something. People say you say you're at fault. Maybe it's just knowing when to say the right things and knowing the right things to say instead of just talking out of, I guess, maybe your ego. Yeah, I don't know. What's the That's it. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Uh, yeah, thanks. I don't know. This is cool. I got used to looking to the camera. It's the first time, but I'll do this. If I'm gonna keep rocking out with this. I like the feeling. I like the little setup, and I fixed this shirt though. Should look kind of. Once came out again. Should look like I got a little fake V-neck. Let me fix that. But yeah, I'm doing this again. You can find me on IG, Goltz Conditioning, and this is the Pulse Podcast, and I'll keep